Yes, we come to you again today from the Secretary of NINAS, and this is an extraordinary set of information. Something extraordinary happened in Abuja last week. I think it's 21st or 22nd of May in 2022. At the Abuja Federal High Court, where the suit by the Northern Coalition of Northern Groups, or whatever they call themselves, had all the other nationalities turning up from all the other sides of Nigeria to come to be joined in the suit. And the judge, admitted every application for joinder and adjourned the matter to October 2022. What you saw happen in Abuja in that court that day is the beginning of the journey to the actual resolution of the mischief of 1914. The mass wedding of 1914, conducted by Fredrick Lugard at the instance of his principal in London, Harcourt, the then Secretary for the Colonies, has come to grief. That mass wedding of 1914 is now facing a mass divorce from the daughters of the Lady of Means that was forcefully betrothed to the Northern Suitor, the poor husband called Northern Nigeria, Caliphate Nigeria. And so we come now to let us see what the grievances of all those who have come, the constitutional grievances of those who have come to be joined in that suit, which was originally targeted at another mischief altogether. But the hand of God, the forces of heaven, having primed it to our favor, the alliance, look at the map you see, these two maps you see, in the, tells the whole story. You will see that in the map to the left, the 1967, that's the map of the 1967 Caliphate-led alliance against the Igbo Corps, the place they call the southeast of today, in which that Igbo Corps, now made up of 5 states, is surrounded 360 degrees by the rest of Nigeria that had come as federal side on the side of the Igbo, away from the Biafra, the eastern region that went all the way to the Atlantic coast and the Cameroonian international border with Nigeria. And so Nigeria and their sponsors in Britain found a way to cut the eastern region of the time into 3 blocks, with the east central state now locked in what you can see on this map as a dot in the circle. You see the white portion of that map to your left, that is the dot in the circle. And what it means is a land completely surrounded and circled in a manner that is hopeless for any kind of exit from the whole. And so we remember, let us make the connections so that we can establish how this coalition of northern youths came to their action that was intended to expel. They said they were going to court to ask that Nigeria conducts referendum for these Igbo people, the Biafra people that have been giving Nigeria all its trouble. There's no other trouble Nigeria has than the Igbo, according to those people. They addressed a press conference on that matter. So it is that spirit of dot in circle. It is that spirit of let us all go and behead the Igbo. Let us go and beat down the Igbo. They thought that the alliance of 1967 is still intact, so that the whole country will come with them and rush against the Igbo in bitterness like it happened before. But unfortunately for them and happily for us, the Ninas alliance has not only defeated this alliance of 1967 led by that caliphate, it has decapitated it and also replaced it, as you can see in the map to your right. The rest of Nigeria is now on one side, and the tormentors of Nigeria on the other side. They are the only ones killing in the east, in the west, and in the middle belt. They have also embraced a faith, the Sharia, that requires them to kill the rest as infidel. They believe their worldview is feudalist, and so they say to our faces that we are born to rule you. Now, it's not only, like I said, how did we come to the point where people will have to go to file such a suit in Abuja? And now the table is turning against them at a time the rest of Nigeria is already, in an alliance to retrieve their sovereignties that have been hijacked by the defunct Federation of Nigeria, by the illicit federal government that is still holding together the carcass of the defunct Federation of Nigeria that collapsed in 1966 effectively. And so we come back to the video. I'm sure we all saw it went viral. The video of the fellow called Hakim Baba Ahmed, whose father came from Mauritania not long ago, but they are all the Fulani that have become the owners of Nigeria. And so in that video, perhaps we should just listen to him for a few minutes.
The Northern Elders Forum has reviewed events and tendencies which suggest that the country is headed for more crises. Nigerians live in fear of violence today and in fear of an uncertain future. The capacity of the Nigerian state to secure citizens, protect the country's territorial integrity, and resist violent assaults on our unity is weakening to levels of making threats that have no impact. Armed criminals of all types have increased their audacious stranglehold over our lives in all parts of the country. Irredentists are increasingly asserting their influence over in the southeast and some parts of the country, and in the manner that millions of Nigerians now live. Rhetorics from political leaders and ethnic champions who speak in threats and demands routinely suggest that the sentiments in support of irredentism are becoming more widespread. All Nigerians are paying the price of failure of two sets of leaders. At the national level, the administration appears to have lost the capacity to hold the gradual descent of the country into anarchy. Political leaders in the southeast appear to have submitted to violence and terror of IPOB and ESN. Muted voices of millions of Igbo cannot be heard, so that Nigerians can understand the degree to which secession by the Igbo represents their popular choice. Nigeria has had to fight two terrible wars to preserve the country. The North has paid its dues in that war, and indeed in many ways throughout the history of our country. Under our current circumstances, no Nigerian should welcome another war to keep this country together. The North in particular has more than enough challenges, and we recognize that violent secession by any part of Nigeria will compound the problems of all Nigerians under which we live. The Forum has arrived at the difficult conclusion that if support for secession among the Igbo is as widespread as it is being made to look, and Igbo leadership appears to be in support of it, then the country should be advised not to stand in its way.
He called a press conference. Hakim Baba Ahmed called a press conference to tell the whole world that Nigeria has come to where it doesn't seem it can be sustained any much further. And that the problem with Nigeria is these Igbo people that are doing this and doing that, and therefore that Nigeria should just let them go without a war like we fought before. So everything that is wrong with Nigeria in the imagination of Hakim Baba Ahmed and his sponsors, wherever they are, you know, is Igbo. He did not talk about the gross insecurity that is being inflicted on us by that caliphate, the Fulani, led by our own president and commander-in-chief, who has been established, who has been shown to be the chief organizer of the terror we are suffering from the Fulani invaders he's hosting, including the terror elements that came from the Middle East, you know, ISIS that became ISWAP in joint venture with Boko Haram and the rest of Miyetti Allah. And so Hakim Baba Ahmed did not see that as the problem of Nigeria. Hakim Baba Ahmed did not see the warped constitutional architecture of Nigeria that has been the complaint of everybody. The unitary constitution of Nigeria that is now choking all of those who have been trapped here since 1914. And so he called that press conference to tell the whole of Nigeria that we must now go and chase this Igbo out of our midst. Now, he is the spokesman of, I want us to take note, Hakim Baba Ahmed have been the spokesman of the Northern Elders Forum and all kinds of Northern this and Northern that. But on this occasion, it appears he has been elevated to something far above what he used to be, because a few days after the video was released, we saw it on the wall of the spokesman of the president of Nigeria, Garba Shehu. Garba Shehu posted this video on his wall, giving an indication that the presidency, the Buhari presidency of Nigeria, is actually, you know, operating the script that had been described by Hakim Baba Ahmed in that broadcast. And so we come to the conclusion, looking at all of what has happened in Nigeria through the last 7 to 10 years on that subject matter, we come to the conclusion that it is actually the narrative of the presidency, the Buhari presidency, the federal government of now, and the wider caliphate that floated that federal government. That is what Hakim Baba Ahmed said is their thinking, which is why the spokesman of the president had to put it on his wall as the official position. We allege that we have come to the conclusion and we're entitled to read what we see, you know, according to how we perceive it. We conclude that what Hakim Baba Ahmed said in that video is the official position of the federal government of Nigeria under Muhammadu Buhari. And then if anybody thinks it is a far-flung speculation, let us then go back to what Buhari himself had said about the dot in circle that became the quarrel with Twitter, for which there was ban and unbanning of. Look at this map again. So you can see on the map to your left, you can see the dot in circle that Buhari was talking about in that Twitter that became controversial. Now, how did that even emerge? Those who are now living in the torment called Nigeria will not remember that Muhammad Buhari, as a lieutenant, was one of those who in Nigerian army uniform went round doing the kind of thing we saw in Sokoto the other day that happened to Deborah against Igbo, because he has not been called to account by those in Britain who pretended there was no genocide in Nigeria. That's why he went up and about speaking the way he has been speaking since 2015 about this same subject, and threatening all kinds of fire and brimstone. The other time he said he was going to speak to them in the language they will understand, and now he's talking about a dot in circle. But I have bad news for the Buhari and the Garba Shehu and the Caliphate and the Baba Ahmed and all the Fulani that had come from across the border, that the alliance of the owners of Nigeria, the owners of the sovereignty that has been confiscated by brigandage into the unitary union of Nigeria we now are choking in, has defeated that alliance. They are still hoping, they were still hoping that that alliance is in place. But you can see from what has happened, the table is turned. Perhaps we have to listen to the council, to the coalition for the northern groups, who then who says that the suit, now that it has everybody from all the sides present, we can inform you now that Ninas prompted his allies to go to meet them in that suit when they filed it, to let them know that it's not the Igbos, that it's not only the Igbo that want to leave Nigeria, that everybody else want to leave Nigeria, so that the Fulani can go back to whatever they choose to go in their own path, as we see in the map of alliance. And so that's really where we are now. It's a day of joy.
The coalition of northern groups had in June last year taken the National Assembly and the Attorney General of the Federation to court, seeking to stop the constitution review exercise and in its place conduct a referendum to determine who remains part of Nigeria. Over the months, various ethnic groups filed applications for joinder as interested parties. At today's proceedings, the presiding judge, Justice Inyang Ekwo, joined all the interested parties in the suit and subsequently fixed October 20th for hearing.
What the plaintiff are asking for in the first place is an opportunity for all Nigerians to be given the chance to decide whether they want to stay in Nigeria or not. It's their rights. And we actually called for that. We felt by the provisions of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, every citizen of any African country has a right to say he's no longer interested in remaining in that country, not just Nigeria.
The Council for the Igbo Nation speaks on the reason for joining the suit.
It's a very good day for the country, Nigeria. Why do I say so? Because today you can see the courts in its magnanimity granted all the motion for joinder, and we are now properly joined. The Igbo nation is now properly joined in this matter. Yes, is that there should be that they should allow this the citizens of this country, the nationality of this country, to conduct a referendum to determine whether they will continue to remain in this country as one entity, or whether they will go their separate ways.
The Ijaw nation is not and has never been and can never be part of the Biafran Republic. If there is any republic we should have or are entitled to, is the Ijaw Republic and not Biafran Republic. So we need to be joined to assert our territories that have been forcefully incorporated into the Biafran map. We want a nation of our own called the Ijaw Republic, where we can administer our resources.
Because when we see this quote from the telegram of 1913 from the Lord Harcourt, the Secretary for the Colonies, addressed to Lugard, trying to explain, more or less, informing the world what they were about to do in Nigeria. The Nigerian Union at inception was described by the proprietors of that criminal enterprise as a marriage between the poor North and the Southern Lady of Means. That marriage is at an end. The sons and daughters of that Southern Lady of Means have come to where they are now more interested in ending the bad arrangement than anything else. And so Ninas has also instructed his lawyers to request that court to enter that suit as friends of the court. They call it amicus curiae. The lawyers will, as people with some specialist information, specialist knowledge on the subject matter, to guide the court on what to do with these nationalities that have come to demand for referendum to determine whether they will continue in the Union of Nigeria, and if yes, we then go to the question of how. You will all remember that by the constitutional force majeure of December 16, 2020, that the Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination had rolled out a framework by which these issues could be engaged. And therefore, NINA should be meeting the judge and the parties in court in October, to which the matter was adjourned, to place before the court, before the country, that proposition for how these matters could be resolved amongst all these nationalities that have been trapped here against their will under the unitary constitutional imposition we live under. And so I think we all need to watch out for how this, because between that constitutional force majeure propositions and the prayers of the plaintiffs and defendants in this matter that has now zeroed in on the question of a referendum to decide sovereignty, I think the government should now be persuaded to come to where we are going into a transition instead of election. Election is the most terrible distraction to what Nigeria needs to do now. Let those who are waving party flag, realize that what we are in is like a disputed land, construction going on a disputed land, construction going on a disputed land. The owners of the land you call Nigeria have come to court, insisting on referendum for their membership to determine their sovereignty, to determine their membership of the union. Those who are waving flag to go to contest election in 2023, I'm just sorry for you, because you are going to find out that you are trying to build, even if the election is eroded into being. I tell you that the winner, NINAS assures you that the winner of 2023 election will not find any Nigeria to govern until the issues raised by that suit in Abuja are determined. And nobody's going to wait for whether the judge or the court will say one thing or the other. The owners of the sovereignty and self-determination are inalienable to the owners of the land that have been confiscated by Nigeria against the will of the constituent, the sovereign constituent components. It's as simple as that. And so let us open our minds, find out more about what we have just said, check all the other videos of where these explanations have been made, and follow the story before it becomes something that happens to us where we are. Thank you for listening.